Confronting.
All right, guys. I think that um, we can go ahead and get started. So let us go ahead and begin. So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the first installment of the Klein Fund Entrepreneurial Elevation Series. In today's thought provoking webinar, Foundations of Entrepreneurship, we're going to unravel the myths and misconceptions surrounding entrepreneurship. The path of the entrepreneur has long been romanticized as a journey paved with overnight success stories and boundless freedoms. But the reality is often far more nuanced. Today, we're here to challenge those preconceived notions and dive into the truths behind the entrepreneurial journey. Now, before we get started, let's begin with some introductions. I'm your host, Thomas Gorman, and I'm the Client Success Coordinator here at the Klein Fund. And joining me here to lead the discussion, we have two very talented and insightful women. First, we have Adrienne Wilder, who's a group banking financial advisor at Pinnacle Bank. And also joining us today is serial entrepreneur Kendra Darity, who also happens to be one of our community development loan officers here at the Klein Fund. So, ladies, welcome and thank you for being here today to share your thoughts and insights with us.
Thank you,
No,
Thomas. A pleasure.
absolutely. Now, perhaps you've been drawn to entrepreneurship by tales of instant wealth or the allure of being your own boss. Maybe you're navigating the uncertainties of starting your own venture and grappling with the realities that don't always align with popular beliefs. Wherever you are on your entrepreneurial path, today's webinar aims to bring clarity and dispel misconceptions. So, whether you're here to gain a more realistic perspective on entrepreneurship, debunk myths that may be holding you back, or simply seek insights from those who have walked in this path, this webinar is your opportunity to explore the truths behind the headlines and discover what it truly takes to succeed as an entrepreneur. And remember, entrepreneurship is not just about ideas and ambition, it's about resilience, adaptability, and a relentless pursuit of growth. So, together, let's challenge the misconceptions, embrace the realities, and uncover the authentic essence of entrepreneurship. And so, to lead our discussion off today, we have Miss Adrienne here, who's going to talk to us a little bit about what they've got going on at Pinnacle Bank. So, let me get my screen shared. How's that? Can everybody see that?
Absolutely.
All right, Adrienne, I'm going to let you take it from here.
Thank you. Thank you, Thomas. And thank you to the Climb Fund for the opportunity to partner with you all to just share how we support small business owners, whether they're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur or they are already an entrepreneur. So, as Thomas mentioned, I'm Adrienne Wilder with Pinnacle Financial Partners, and Pinnacle is a bank. Our name is a bit unique, Financial Partners, because not only do we partner with our internal partners, we partner with small business and small business partners such as Klein to positively impact the small business owners, which will eventually impact positively the communities in which we live and serve. And with that being said, Pinnacle has a presence along the Southeast coast, and our vision is to be the best financial institution and workplace. And we do that intentionally. We do that intentionally in how we serve and how we set ourselves apart differently from other financial institutions. So, one of the means in supporting the community and small businesses is we offer a business mastermind course, and that is designed for people who are considering becoming an entrepreneur or those that are currently entrepreneurs and looking to just grow their business to the next level. And the desired outcome is that we would increase the owner's awareness and understanding of how they should work on their business and not necessarily just in the business, and also step away with ways to make their business more productive and successful. So we do this by means of offering at a complimentary offer the book, The E-Myth Revisited, which is authored Michael Gerber. It's a 6 week course, and entrepreneurs come together, they share ideas, opinions, and this happens because we create a safe space of no more than 12 entrepreneurs in a room, and we get to share, some of their successes, their challenges, and helping them to know that they're not in the success, the fight, I would say, to be a successful entrepreneur. We have found in the book covers that in most cases, it's the technician that starts a business. And the technician is the worker bee, that person that's working on the job, doing the work, the doer, the thinker. They're the ones that really start the business. And 70% of typical businesses are started by the technician. 20% are actually uh, managers, and then 10%, a low percentage, are for entrepreneurs. And so the book covers the myth about becoming an entrepreneur, and it takes all components of being the technician, the manager, and the visionary, which is the entrepreneur itself. The course is covered in a 6 weeks. Hold the book just a little bit higher there for a moment. It's a 6 week session for 1 hour a week. And we host the sessions at our location, which is downtown Charleston at 850 Morrison Yard. And one of the biggest takeaways when the entrepreneurs are coming together, Thomas and Kendra, we have found that the entrepreneurs foster a relationship where they are supportive one to another. And for an example, with our most recent cohort that we just had, when we're talking about being innovative, and the book covers a session about being innovative, most people just think about the creative side of being innovative, but it goes farther beyond to actually executing the creativity that you've come up with. And in this particular course that we just session that we just ended, one of the entrepreneurs, she was a bit hesitant about moving forward because, of course, that fear is there, right? Sometimes for the next step. And she was rallied around by the entrepreneurs in the room, sharing ideas of, oh, you can do this, and it'll be great if you market this way. Before the end of the session, she actually had an opportunity to invite the room to her kickoff session that she was having. And the entrepreneurs were supportive. Myself, we went and supported her business. She's a yoga instructor, and it was a beautiful, beautiful moment just to have the support of the entrepreneurs in the room, because they have that common denominator, starting their business or scaling their business. So it's a great way of fostering relationships with people that are like-minded and having a great support system.
Thank you so much for that, Adrian. Um, it really sounds like a unique dichotomy you guys have going on over there with that program, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs can really benefit from something like that. Shared experience. Um, there's a lot to shared experience. You can take a lot away from that. Um, and so with that, Miss Kendra, what do you have for us today?
And good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let me share my screen, but I'm gonna jump. Can you guys see my screen? No, hold on.
Mm-mm. There we go.
All
Yes.
right. So okay. So again, thank you, Thomas, for inviting me into the conversation. As you presented earlier, I'm a serial entrepreneur as well, along with being a dedicated community development loan officer here at Climb Fund. Truly love what I do because I feel like I am the target market. So, it was only right if I jumped on the first one with the 5 C's of entrepreneurship, because like you say, when we're on social media, we really just see the highlights of people's success, right? We don't really know what goes on in the background. And the 5 C's of entrepreneurship is light, it's way more than 5 C's. But today, to keep it short and simple, we're going to jump into the 5 C's of entrepreneurship. And again, thank you for inviting me to the conversation. So, exploring the 5 C's of entrepreneurship, the ones that stick out to me is, curiosity, commitment, creativity, confidence, and connections. Piggybacks on the conversation we just had earlier, right? That's what that program really fosters, is the basis of the 5 C's of entrepreneurship. So we're going to jump right in. I'm going to like to just dive on in. So with the participants that we have here amongst ourselves as well, if you could start any business tomorrow, what would it be and why? Because again, we look at it, we all have a different purpose when it comes to exploring the entrepreneur journey. But your why and your purpose, which kind of go hand in hand, is what's going to keep you motivated and going when it doesn't look so glitz and glamour. Because that's, again, entrepreneurship is not all roses and bubbles. It can get real out here. So jumping into the first one, which is curiosity. Curiosity is it's a desire to learn and understand and explore. And that's what really drives individuals to seek new information and experiences. So that's when that's really sometimes where that why comes from, by just being curious, right? You're like, okay, I've experienced this. I've was introduced to this new information, and it may spark that entrepreneur itch, because again, it's something new, something that sparks that passion, gets that fire under you, and now you want to be an entrepreneur. So this is the first one for me. So with entrepreneurship, again, it develops, it helps discover unmet needs, identifying opportunities, and staying ahead of the trends. Because when you become an entrepreneur, really and truly, the biggest thing that drives entrepreneurship is solving problems. So you want to meet a need, you want to be able to uncover unmet needs and identify opportunities in order to maximize the success of your entrepreneur journey. So being curious and, curiosity is a very key component to entrepreneurship when you're discovering that why and actually starting to lay down that foundation on that entrepreneur lifestyle / journey. And so again, goes back to just tying it into your entrepreneur journey. You always want to ask questions, because you want to know, kind of get an understanding behind the why. Because again, the why is the key to keep you going, right? So you want to know, why you're doing this. Why am I passionate about this? Why does this spark this entrepreneur light that, just kind of jumped on me? So your why is very important. And it's also too, it helps you step out your comfort zone, because being an entrepreneur is not, you're going to be uncomfortable a lot. And if you're not used to being uncomfortable, you're going to set yourself up for failure. I'm a blunt person. You're going to set yourself up for failure if you're not comfortable with being uncomfortable. That is a major characteristic. I might should have added that into the next one, but that is a major characteristic of being an entrepreneur. You just got to be okay with sometimes with not being okay, and you have to trust the process. Because again, I always tell people, you do have to be a little delusional whenever you're in the entrepreneur world, because you're seeking a dream that other people may not understand or may not see, but you cannot give up on it. So stepping out your comfort zone is very get ready for it. Just get ready for it. And also too, just viewing setbacks as opportunities to really grow and learn. Because again, I always tell my clients, my kids, anybody I come in contact with, we don't look at them as losses, we look at them as lessons. Because again, it's always something to learn, even during a failure, because what you learn, not to do that failure again. So you're going to sit down and figure out how not to do it again. So you're learning, and with that, you always tell people, document the process, because again, writing things down and being able to go back and reference it is very important. So again, curiosity that's why it was number one. That is the start of the entrepreneur journey. At least for me, it was. So, all right. So commitment. Now, commitment is another one. I think it should be neck and neck with curiosity, but commitment is what's going to keep you going again when you don't want to go. And also too, it helps you achieve goals. We always say, let's celebrate the small wins. So no matter how big or small the goal is, once you reach that goal, again, you have to be committed to reach the goal, celebrate the small wins. And I mean, that's regardless of any challenges or obstacles that you face. I mean, life is full of challenges and obstacles. And again, a lot of great business models come from challenges and obstacles that we go through in life, correct? So use that as a journey too, to build and to be able to expand on the entrepreneur why and the journey as well. So again, commitment is very essential with navigating the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. And it ensures that you stay focused, motivated, and those setbacks and failures are going to come, but again, it's part of the entrepreneur journey. So I always tell myself, always expect for you want the best, but always expect for the worst and be able to embrace the worst, because it's going to be part of it. It's just going to be part of it. So again, with your entrepreneur journey, commitment that help you, stay focused, stay committed, set clear goals, celebrate the small wins, create that strong support system, as we talked about before. Like she said, the young lady who had the yoga studio, she was kind of, but then they came in, they rallied behind her, and actually, it sounds like they were able to kind of give her some innovative ways to reach her goals. So that support system is very important when you're with that commitment element, because again, your support system should hold you to being committed to holding out the goal. That's the key to the support system. And also too, again, I know it might seem repetitious, but again, being positive and overcoming challenges and staying committed. You're going to see it more than once. It is part of the entrepreneur journey. Challenges are going to be there. Obstacles are going to be there, but being committed, being curious, that's going to help you when those moments come. So if sound like I'm repeating myself, that's just how important it is. So creativity. So being creative, also again, it helps being innovative, coming up with new ideas, solutions to issues. Because again, a lot of business models are solutions to problems that are occurring in the world. And also too, thinking outside the box, seeking connections that others may not miss, because you always have to look at the whole picture as an entrepreneur. Because again, it might be that one little piece you missed, there might be the $1 million piece, might be the $1 million solution to the problem. So you got to pay attention to everything. Or at least I do. Y'all might have another takeaway from that, but I pay attention to everything. And also too, with that, the importance of it is just really developing unique products, because you got to be able to stand out. We always do this thing with the water. You have a million different water brands, but each one have a unique component that, some people prefer, Fiji water over Deer Park. Is because they've set themselves apart from, their industry. So that creativity part will make you unique. And also too, it just makes you different from your competitors. And that's how you're going to be a successful business, is by being different. So just make sure you're always, and like you say, innovation is not always just coming up with the idea. My motto is also to, you want to come up with a plan, but your strategy is what helps you execute the plan. So the plan will remain the same, but that strategy is going to constantly change. And that's where that creativity comes in to help you execute the plan. So you got to be creative and you got to think outside the box, because this society changes daily, hourly. We got to stay with the trends. So in your entrepreneur journey, again, just foster a mindset of being curiosity came back up again, right? And creativity, always seeking new experiences and learning opportunities. Engage with people with different backgrounds, because again, everybody has a different outlook on a problem. And it may be something that you didn't think about because of the background that you came from, and you just wasn't really in tune with that stream where somebody else could come and like, hey, did you look at it this way? And that could be a game changer for your business as well, or a game changer for that entrepreneurial journey, just by seeking insight from other people with different backgrounds. Again, build an atmosphere or environment that encourages risk taking and being open-minded. I mean, the key to being an entrepreneur too is taking a risk. I mean, no risk, no reward. So take calculated risk, but the risk is crucial to the entrepreneur journey as well. So again, you have to be, and when I say creative, you got to be able to be open to surrounding yourself by people who may not think like you, who may not look like you, who may come from a different background than you, but that's all part of the creativity pool, because again, they're going to bring different elements into that process for you. Confidence. So this one is another one. You got to be, again, when I want to go back, you got to be a little delusional on confidence. Like your confidence got to be high in order to be an entrepreneur, because again, you are creating a legacy, creating a lifestyle that others may not understand. And you have to really trust in yourself to know that this is my purpose, this is my why, and I'm going to get it done regardless, right? Doesn't matter if I get up today and I'm not feeling, I may have 0 sales yesterday, but today may be the day that I have $1 million in sales. So you got to be confident to know that what you're building and what you believe in is actually going to produce and manifest. Like, you just got to make sure that you are very confident in your journey, in your strive, and what you're seeking to do. It empowers you. Like, again, we celebrate the small wins. So that's why I say celebrate those small wins, because those small wins turns into big wins, and you got to go through the small wins to get to the big wins. So no matter what it looks like, celebrate yourself and know that this is for you. If it's something that you're willing to take the risk on, make that commitment, it's for you. So just don't give up. And it also helps inspire others. I'm inspired by a lot of people, and I'm hoping people are inspired by me too. But at the end of the day, that inspiration also helps empower you as well. Those small pats on the back go a long way, and that all comes with confidence. And so I may not be sticking to the side, because y'all know I'm an entrepreneur. It comes from the heart. So y'all just bear with me. I be feeling it in my soul. Like,
yes,
so bear
it's
with
beautiful.
Me. So in the entrepreneurial journey, again, understanding your strengths and weakness, right? So you got to understand that you may not be strong in everything, and it's okay to delegate the things that you are weak on. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. It just means that you're strong enough to know, like, hey, this is not my lane, and I'm willing to give it to you in order to make this project successful. And sometimes, as an entrepreneur myself, that was in my way. I was in my own way for a long time with that, because I wanted to be the person that knew how to do everything. And once I realized, like, no, this is not my strong point, I started delegating things out, and then things started getting done. Those small wins started turning into big wins, and that boosts my confidence. And now, it all goes hand in hand. So, and it goes back again, having that strong support system, because if you don't have a strong support system, how do you know who's able to pick up that weakness if you're not surrounded by people that's different than you? So, and also too, again, replacing negative thoughts with positive thoughts. We are human, so I get it. We do have those moments of doubt, but those are just moments, right? So we get past that moment and we say, you know what? This is my dream. This is what I believe in. I'm going to push towards it, no matter what I may say or no matter what they may say. Again, it goes back to that confidence, knowing this is what I believe in and it's going to happen. And again, just setting realistic and achievable goals. Like, please do not get caught up in this making $1 million in 2 days. Like, I mean, it can happen with some, but that's really, to me, that's an unachievable goal, and that can get me discouraged, which would then affect my confidence. I'm like, no, set small goals, realistic goals, even if it's nothing but gaining 2 clients a month, 2 clients a week, something that you can have more control over and it makes sense. So that's one of the biggest takeaways when that jumped out to me, is just really being realistic and understanding that Rome was not built overnight, and your business will not be built overnight either. You know, so that's the
Not
biggest thing.
successfully.
And again, celebrate the small wins, small wins. So Thomas, that concludes my portion of it. I know we want going into like some Q&A, so I'm gonna put mine on mute and let you do your thing. But that's all I have. Thomas, we can't hear you, Thomas. We can't hear you.
Right. Well, I was saying, don't mute yet, Kendra, because I've got some questions for you and Adrian. I'm interested to hear your perspectives on these questions because they're pretty open-ended. But how do you think we should define success for the entrepreneur when entrepreneurship is such a diverse journey and there's no one set path? So Adrian and Kendra, how do you think entrepreneurs should visualize success and measure their success?
Well, first, I would like to say amazing job, Kendra. And you definitely spoke from the heart of an experienced entrepreneur. And our experience continues to evolve as we continue to work on achieving our ultimate goal. So I believe Kendra covered it, how to define success. So when you think about success, it means accomplishing a goal or purpose, right? So when you entrepreneurs, I would encourage you to be mindful when you set a goal, no matter how small it is, when you achieve it, that's success. That is success. Don't just look at the big outcome. Look at the smaller things that you. I love how Kendra mentioned if you onboarded one new client or two new clients, maybe success means that you transition your business from a sole proprietor to an LLC. Maybe success means that now that you have more social media presence. So success is fluid, I believe. And one thing, Kendra touched on it. I saw something recently that spoke about some acronyms and fail. And the word fail simply was defined as your first attempt in the lesson. So when you may have failed in your eyes, you were actually successful because you learned what you needed to learn, and that is success in itself. Failure can also be defined as success because now you learn what not to do or what to do to continue to move forward.
Wonderfully said. What do you think, Kendra?
I totally agree with all of that. And I also, what me as an entrepreneur always, and how I coach clients and things like that, I just tell them, do not compare your success to someone else's. We all have a different path. We all have a different journey. So my success may look different than Thomas' success. My success may look, it looks different. So again, we celebrate the small wins. And that's just success is just really taking the risks. For me, being in the mindset of taking the risks is a success all the way around. So
Yeah.
Right.
And Thomas, if I may also say, when Kendra mentioned comparison, that could be a stealer of your joy. You may be on a path with someone that started their journey the same time you did, and maybe things are in your eyes are looking more successful for that person. You may find it hard to believe that that person may be having some challenges, feeling like they're not successful. So if you're going to look at someone that you believe is doing well, I would encourage you to look at them and cheer them on and see what nuggets you may be able to glean from. But by all means, do not compare yourself, because your business idea, your purpose, your goal has something unique to offer. Um, I love the illustration. Kendra, you killed it. I love the illustration about water being different brands. And not only different brands of water, knowing your audience, because one group of people may want to only pay, oh, Disney World, prime example. You go to a, let's see, you go to the fair, water may be $2. Somebody's going to pay $2. You go to Disney World, water may cost $10, that same water. So knowing your audience is going to make a big difference as well. So your audience will help you to know you should um, define what you're offering to each audience. So you may offer the same thing at different level. One party may be willing to spend a bit more for that same service or product that you're providing because it's a different audience. So,
Well, I can speak from experience. With the, for a long time, I didn't know how to celebrate the small wins because I'm always forward thinking. So, like right now, we're in the middle of doing a webinar, but I'm already thinking about the next thing that I've got coming up. You know, after today and this afternoon. And I used to always fall victim to that, and it would cannibalize my confidence. You know what I mean? You start you got to celebrate the small victories because with entrepreneurs, sometimes for 2, 3, 5 years, that's all you get is small victories. You know, being able to show up tomorrow and fight another day, that's a win, right? So it's definitely something that it rings very true. And Kendra, I know it's true because I've been through it. So we can write that down as a fact. But next question. Can you discuss the role of mentorship and incubators in dispelling misconceptions about entrepreneurship?
I'm gonna touch on mentorship, right? Mentorship, I tell people, just how we talk about like you have like a primary care doctor, eye doctor, we shop around for that type of, because we want to make sure that we're trusting that person that we're trusting with our health to tell us. So a mentor or mentorship is no different. You want to make sure that you do your due diligence to make sure the credibility and it aligns with your overall goal. I always encourage anyone mentorship. If you can learn from another person's journey, by all means do it, but you got to also know that your journey is your own. So even though you go through mentorship, it may feel like at that time that it's just like senseless time, senseless information. I guarantee you, but for that, sometime in that entrepreneur journey, something is going to register back from that mentorship. So with that, I'm very a strong advocate of mentorship because again, you're talking to someone, hopefully a credible person that has been through the journey that you're seeking to go. And if you can learn how to maneuver through those failures from someone else, hey, that's priceless to me.
What are your thoughts, Adrian?
um, well said, Kendra. And when I think about mentorship as well, I'm thinking about someone that's supporting the mentee through experience. One of the 5 C's, a mentor helps build confidence into the mentee. And then that mentee is feeling empowered, right? Because my mentor believes in me. My mentor sees something maybe I haven't quite seen in myself. So now I'm feeling empowered to try new experiences. And when I think about the young lady, the room just poured into her. So she felt like, okay, I can do this. And it was successful. So you want to surround yourself with a, someone that's going to support you, but also someone that's going to guide you and hold you accountable, right? Hold you accountable for those moments that you may want to put the cover over your head and not take that risk. Like, oh my goodness, this doesn't look like what I thought it was going to look like. I don't want to do this any longer. I'm afraid. And I just want to give up. That mentor needs to be someone that's going to hold you accountable and encourage you to push through the pain because Kendra said it. My friend and I, we say often, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Because guess what that means, entrepreneur? That means you're growing. You're growing. When you are uncomfortable, when you're asked to do something that you haven't done before, or you take that leap of faith to do something, you are actually growing. You are taking yourself from a position of stagnation to growth. You're starting to scale. So, yes.
Very well said, Adrian. I really appreciate that. Um, I know that both Climb Fund and Pinnacle believe in mentorship because we try to provide these types of resources to our clients, because it can make the world of difference, right? Um, you never know what you don't know until you get there. But when we have someone that we can sit down and talk to, and they can help prepare us for the bumps in the roads and turn us into more forward-thinking individuals and prepare us for the struggles ahead, I think we come out as better people. So making sure those resources are available to young entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs from any walk of life, young, old, makes a world of difference. Um, so then how does the concept of being your own boss align with the responsibilities and pressures of entrepreneurship?
Y'all want me to go? I mean, I think we had a conversation the other day. What a lot of people don't understand is like with entrepreneurship, like everybody wants to quit their job today, go into entrepreneurship. And I'm like, y'all, I work 7 days a week. 7 days a week with, and it's not a guaranteed paycheck, right? So you with that, like, being your own boss, and then once you start scaling and you're responsible for other people's livelihood, it can be a lot of pressure. But it goes back again to, building that confidence to know that no matter what, I got to get up and I gotta figure it out, right? And so with that, I tell people, yeah, it's ideal to want to just, get up tomorrow, be your own boss, make your own schedule, work when you want to work, be on the island, chilling on vacation. But the real reality of it is, until you actually, like you say, be working more on your business, not in your business, it's going to take a lot of work. I always tell people, to me, in my mind, in my world, entrepreneurship is two different levels to me. You have self-employed, and then you have a business owner, right? And that's just in my world. And I'm striving to be a business owner and not self-employed, because I want my business to be able to work for me and me not having to work in my business. Because when you're working in your business, especially as a startup, it's going to be some long days. It's going to be some late nights, early mornings. It's not going to be cute. It's like, oh, I worked 7 days and I may have not made a dime, but you have created brand awareness. You have, it's other things that are not tied to money that comes within that time that you foster in your business. So I say that to say this: there is a lot of pressure in being just solely entrepreneurship, being responsible for your livelihood. And then once you start scaling, bringing on other people for their livelihood. But again, if you know your why, and if you're confident in your why, the opportunities are unlimited.
Awesome. And I would add to what Kendra shared is, being an entrepreneur actually is taking on more responsibilities than people realize. Again, referring back to the E-Myth Revisited, it's the technician that starts the job, right? The technician that gets the seizure moment, like, oh yes, I'm going to do this, right? But then they forget, I know how to the skill of what I'm doing, baking pies as the book covers. I know the skill, but there are other components that goes along with being an entrepreneur. Oh, who's going to manage the books? The entrepreneur. Who's going to think ahead for who I'm going to be calling on? There's so many different components that sometimes people don't realize that being an entrepreneur is great, but you're taking on a whole lot more responsibilities now. And it is a big myth that I'm boss lady, I'm boss man, and I got this. Oh, you can wear the t-shirt if you want to, and it's beautiful. We want to encourage that, but it takes intentionality, as Kendra stated. You went from working 40 hours a week, 5 days a week, to now you're working probably 70 to 80 hours. You're getting up earlier, you're working longer. And so, another thing that when the session for the E-Myth Revisited, the goal is, as you're working on your business, is to think about creating your business as a franchise, even if you don't want to franchise your business. And the why behind it is franchises create systems. And when you have that system in flow, then you could probably step away more and wear that I'm the boss. You're not working in, you're working on the business. You're the business owner. So the entrepreneur mindset should, and my thoughts should, go from entrepreneur to employer to investor to philanthropist. That's my thoughts. You're entrepreneur, you're working alone, but as your business scales, you're going to see the need to hire in someone, and usually that first person is probably going to be someone to take care of the books. It's probably going to be someone to take care of the books, just because it has to be done. It's a necessity. So yes.
And the books are a very key component. Obviously, it's something we're going to have to tackle later with the Entrepreneurial Elevation series. And I think it's a component many entrepreneurs don't consider when they get in there. They're thinking, I can cut this piece of wood, I can build a house, but there's still the whole accounting component that must be accounted for.
Absolutely.
And in my experience on the entrepreneurial path, folks that say they want to be their own boss, I think that concept is a little bit, it's a lot more nuanced than just being your own boss. Because when I was running my business, I wasn't my own boss. My customers were my boss. You know what I
Bingo.
mean?
They are.
They guided everything I did. And you have to respond to that, right? If you have an interaction with a new client and you're not excited about the way it went, well, how can I do better next time, right? You have to constantly be refining your approach to new situations, because the truth is there's no one there but you. At the end of the day, it all falls at your feet. The average weekly workload for a United States entrepreneur is 52 hours a week. And there's probably a lot of people out there who are thinking, okay, well, I'm working 40 hours. I could be doing all of this better. I'm gonna go start my own. Before, you had weekends off. Before, you didn't have to worry about the books. Before, when the water main broke, you didn't have to worry about that either. But now it's all at your feet, and that's something that you have to appreciate going into it, because it will bite you if you don't. But that brings me to my next question, which is, I feel like there's a lot of nuance too. A lot of people get into entrepreneurship for the pursuit of more professional independence and freedom. Do you think this is a misconception?
I'd say absolutely. And I feel like we covered it with the last question, talking about you're going to be required. You're required as the entrepreneur to take care of the part of the business where you may have been gainfully employed somewhere else. Now that responsibility lies on you. So your liberty I mean, your liberty is shrinking. You're not having the freedom as you may think you would have, because it's a whole lot that falls on you. And as employed at Pinnacle and being a shareholder, we're encouraged to treat our roles as business owners. That's one of the pinnacle ways to be an owner. And I will tell you, with every role transition, I found myself working longer and doing more from the prior role. And the more, and Kendra, you could speak on this since you're a serial entrepreneur. I feel like the more uh, to whom much is given, much is required. Simply put, to whom much is given, much is required. So you're independently working, but your liberty is not as, it's not, I mean, your freedom to just come and go as you want, it's not, because if you're not there, who's going to do the work? How are the clients going to get what you're serving or selling them?
And I agree with all of that. The only thing I would add in is, it does give you a type of freedom, which is creativity, right? Ownership, to me, ownership equals power to me, right? So if I own my business, I have the power to be creative and be able to be innovative the way that I desire to be. I don't have to get the okay from, another person. So it does, in a sense, they can kind of go tenfold. But I look at it, that's why I enjoy entrepreneurship, because it gives me that freedom to be creative. It gives me that freedom to say, if I want to get up today and change my logo of my business, like, that's my freedom to do so, because I own my business. So that gives me the power to do so. So that's kind of how I look at it. But as far as with, when it comes to like freedom, just to kind of like go against the grain and go against the rules, no. Even as an entrepreneur, we still have certain rules that we have to abide by. Government, I mean, we still got to pay taxes. I mean, it's certain things that we just cannot get over, as far as with freedom to do whatever you want to do. But I would say that entrepreneurship, I truly enjoy the freedom of free thinking and be able to be creative within my own scope. So, I mean, that's all I wanted to add to that. So.
And I had a feeling that we would have at least a little bit of distance between our positions on this question. My perception on this question is it's not a misconception, but I think you have to differentiate between personal freedom and professional freedom, right? So with being an entrepreneur, you do get the freedom to say, this is my business and I'm going to put these processes in place. I'm going to create them from the ground up. Now, do they work? That's a different question. Are they effective? Are they efficient? That's a different question. But you do have that freedom to try things on your own and experiment in different ways. And to me, that was one of the things that I always enjoyed most about it, was that, yeah, there's a lot of pressure, but I get to run these little experiments and try and tinker with different things. And it's very fulfilling when you get to see the fruits of your labor. Well, at least when it's not a complete failure, but even in failure, it's not a failure, right?
Right.
First attempt at learning.
The lesson learned. That's right. The lesson learned.
Right.
Sure.
And so my last question I have here is a very important one. I know I've had struggles with this question. How do entrepreneurs balance the need to have a mindset of continuous growth while also learning to have a healthy work-life balance? This is something that many of us struggle with, and I don't know if there's one answer that can fit all sizes, but I am curious what you ladies have to say on the subject.
That's a tough one for me. Because it's hard. It's even hard for me to answer that one. You got me with that one, Thomas. You got me with that one. I didn't really drill in on that question too much. I mean, life is about balance, right? From experience, you know when you're doing too much. Like your body, like your body would tell you, so you need to take a break. So sometimes, as an entrepreneur, you feel like you got to really be hustle bustle all the time, because if not, you feel like you're going to miss something. You feel like you're going to miss that opportunity, right? It's about being prepared for that opportunity. So if you're kind of not really consistent in pursuing the opportunity, you may feel like you're going to miss it, which can create unbalance because you feel like you got to be in the mix everywhere. It's hard for me because I like to be in the mix everywhere. I just so right now. So it's hard for me to honestly answer that one. It's just listen to your mind, listen to your body, and it would tell you when you need to take a break, when you need to, like, hey, you've been doing too much. You might need to just sit back. Your brain's a little cloudy. You're not making sound decisions. You're not taking the proper calculated risks. And then you're starting to experience more failures than before. When you start getting, like, when the negatives start stacking up a little bit quicker, that may be an indication to say, hey, I'm not balanced somewhere. I need to take a step back, kind of look at the big picture and really evaluate, the strategy that I'm using to execute the plan.
Like that, Kendra. I would also encourage, I agree, our bodies will speak to us, but I think it's important that we start balancing and self-care a bit sooner than when our body starts to speak to us, right? Because when our body starts to speak, there was probably some warning signs before then. And so I think having a great accountability partner can help with that. And one that you are willing to really take heed from, because I could say Kendra is my accountability partner and vice versa. But if it's just, okay, by title, but we're not really adhering to, come on, friend, let's go do this. Because guess what? The work is really still going to be there the next day. But, and I'm speaking from experience. Sometimes like, no, I want to make sure that yesterday's work is not on tomorrow. I don't want to have what I have to do tomorrow, finishing from the day before. But it's okay sometimes to just step away and get refreshed. I heard something about sharpening the saw, and you all may have heard this analogy before. It was two workers that worked the same amount of hours and 8 hours, and one would constantly stay at work, don't take a break, and one took an hour break every day away from the office. And when he came back, he got twice as much work done. And so the person that stayed on the job for 8 hours asked, hey, how is it that you're getting as much work, more work done than I am? And I'm here constantly. And that person said, when I step away, I'm sharpening my saw. So they are, what they're doing is they are taking a moment to detach, to refresh themselves. And that's a part of the balance. Kendra, you said it, like we feel like we have to grind and keep going at it. But sometimes we're more ineffective when we don't stop and step away and refresh ourselves. And then when we come back, bam, we just doubled the work. We just impacted double the lives. So we have to hold ourselves accountable. And if that becomes a challenge, partner with someone that means best for you and will really hold you accountable, and someone that you're going to take heed to when they say, girlfriend, guy friend, come on, let's just go take a walk around the building for a moment, or let's sit on the deck and talk for lunch. Let's not have lunch at our desk. Many of us are guilty of that, right? We'll have lunch at the desk. Take your lunch break, but do it on the outside. Even if you have to do it in the car, just do it away from the building. Just do it. While you're in the car, you can listen to some music or something that when you come back, then you're charged. You're ready to, all right, I'm feeling better. Sometimes just a change of an environment. So yes, take care of ourselves. We put ourselves on the list, but it's so far down on the list that we might need a magnifying glass.
Absolutely. And this is one question that I feel like it's probably very different for everybody. I would say listen to your body, even if you don't know what it's saying. When things start happening that you can't really identify, it's time to start doing some personal reflection and saying, hey, am I pushing myself too hard? You know, some people, like I think of a president of the United States, right? There's every day they have people coming in giving them bad news, or you got to work on this, you got to work on that. I think presidents probably have a higher tolerance for these stressful situations than a lot of people, but everybody has a different uh, tolerance for that type of thing. Some people can push really hard and rarely ever have any issues. Some people, you know, every 6 months they may need, a little time to themselves. But listen to your body, pay attention to your mind, your thoughts, the way you're feeling, and listen to that, because your body knows what's going on. Um, and as much as I'm enjoying this conversation, I feel like I could talk to you ladies all day. At some point, we have to wrap up. But before we do, does anyone in the audience today have any questions you would like to ask any of our members? Anyone at all? Going once? Going twice? All right. Well, ladies, this has been a very enjoyable conversation. A lot of light has been shed on this topic. I'm sure there's a lot more light that could be shed on it, but we did what we could do today, and we enjoyed ourselves while we did it.
Well, thank you again for inviting me to the conversation. I'm enjoying myself today. It's my passion, so thank you.
Kendra, we really appreciate you participating, and we're going to have you back again, I promise you.
Yes, and I appreciate the opportunity to partner with the Klein Fund, and congratulations to the entrepreneurs that are on the line and those that will be viewing at a later time. Congratulations. Remember what fail means: first attempt in the lesson, and when you get no's, NO means the next opportunity. So don't stop, refresh, reboot, and remember your 5 C's. You've got this with confidence.
Adrienne, it's been wonderful getting to know you over the past few weeks. Really enjoyed our conversations together. And just for anyone who may be watching this on a future stream, I would encourage you to look into the Business Mastermind program over at Pinnacle. Entrepreneurs from all walks of life can benefit from these types of programs. So please scroll over, check it out, reach out, participate. I promise you'll benefit from it. And with that being said, we're going to wrap it up today. Thank you all so much for showing up, for participating. Thank you, ladies, for your insights and thoughts. I think they were very enlightening. And we'll see everybody next time on the Klein Fund Entrepreneurial Elevation Series.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.